heartiest congratulations for making it to the prestigious Emerging Leaders League.
Would like to say about journey. So it's about an HR professional who is passionate about the domain itself. So I love doing what I do, and HR being a field that I chose as a career myself. So commerce was one I chose after being a science student. I chose commerce when I came Delhi, and I loved this subject. And I chose management and especially HR because of my inclination towards knowing culture, organization, and how people work towards, and how excellent companies have, excelled through resources and talent for what they are today or what they have been in when we were studying those case studies with GE, Google, whatever. So this was one thing. So which motivated me to take up this particular domain as a career, and I would not regret. So I started with generalist HR, L&Ds. I did a lot of interventions in my first assignment with a chemical manufacturing company. Did an expat assignment where I was helping setting up a greenfield plant, doing skill transfers, having cultural alignment, understanding policies and legal requirements of a context. So I was placed in South Africa just when I was like just 25 or 26. So I was placed there as a person who goes from corporate, taking all the policy alignment, cultural alignment, ensuring that Indians do the skill transfer to locals, having roadmap around it. Compensation challenges were there because South African rand was not very stable currency at that moment of time when we were doing. So we had to think about how do we model our compensation, how do we make it more lucrative for lower rung of people as well. So did some key business projects in my key assignments, and I am proud of setting up a greenfield project. When in my previous company, I had an opportunity to set up the entire plant from scratch. So setting up the plant, everything that goes in from people perspective, designing what kind of talent, resources, budgeting, everything, setting up entire team, your own team. So those were experiences that made me quite aware what business wants, what speed it means to business, and where and how you get your things done. When your capexes are looming from, you have to respond to board that by this month your product is going out. So you have to be very strategic in your focus, and in terms of how do you deploy those strategies and tactics to your people and team so that business gets what delivery they look for from HR. So ultimately, any business, HR or HR, survives in this context only of profitability, sustainability. And these were first few principles I also learned in my first job, because in my journey, I was exposed to Deming Application Prize, which is highest prize in TQM from Japanese Union of Scientists and Engineers. And sustainability, CIITC Sustainability Award. I was part of the team which did, 4 times filing, and we actually won 4 in different categories. We actually won CIITC Sustainability Award for SRF. When I joined Cipla, it was altogether a new company, pharma domain, a very different domain, a recession-proof domain, but a very different when it comes when you face COVID. So entire world goes shut, and you are the first one of those company where you have to force people to come to work. And you are part of Essential Services Management Act. You can't shut your shop down because the government doesn't want you to shut your shop down. Even if you intend to shut few lines, you don't want to, because you have to be true to the purpose that you care for life. So being in Cipla, I got those flavors and exposure to manage a dynamic sector growing at a 18 to 21, 22% growth rate with a talent high in demand. So in this part of journey, in last 5-6 years, I have excelled as a business partner, had very ambiguous situations where you don't know about approvals, yet you have to take calls on how much cost resources you want to be on books, because pharma is something where you have to train resources upfront before your actual production happens. And these cycles are it's a very different industry in that terms. And in terms of talent, because the industry itself is growing 20 plus CAGR in the sector, so you would have talent crunches. So those are typical things that I managed. And COVID was one area that we sailed through thinking, going beyond benchmark policies. Those were days where people were just figuring out what to do to motivate people to come to work. We were people on ground. What were the fear that is stopping people to come to work? And how do we ignite their motivation? So those were few cultural things and intervention policies. We worked with strategic leaders and we ensured, and post which we got results as well. We had our 90%, 95% attendance back within like 3 weeks or 2, 3 weeks of COVID as well, of lockdown. So that was big story for Cipla. We actually did more than 150% of our scorecard that year as well. So we paid back to our employees as well. So those few things I am proud of in my journey. I've grown up as a HR professional, especially business partner. Well versed with compensation, ODs, talent. I've done core. I don't shy away from taking projects which seems like very uneasy for people to address, be it addressing 7 year, 8 years, 10 years old issues of compensation not being corrected, not being so taking up that humongous exercise where you have to touch 5,000, 6,000 people across locations. So I've pitched those projects, I've delivered those projects, and I've been successful there because I feel when you trust yourself, when you engage with stakeholders, and when you understand what actually will solve in long term for sustenance, if you have that approach towards even solving HR issues, you go long way, and you gain that trust with your leadership. So that's so far my journey is. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this, Rahul. Now, the next question is about your core values. What are the fundamental principles that guide your actions and decision making?
Fairness and equity. I come from Department of Social Work, where I did my master's in Human Resource Management in Jamia Islamia, Delhi. In fact, one of the person is also from my alma mater, also is recognized this year as well. I found it only through the link, ETHR World link. So what I wanted to tell is we grew up with values which from my professors, from my alma mater, as well as in my personal life as well. I believe in equity. I believe in fairness. And when I say so, as a HR professional, whenever decisions that we take and we want to pitch to our leadership as well, we think from that angle of empathy, where we also understand how it goes on other person as well at times. And it has helped in my values, this particular thing of equity and having fairness in processes has helped, because then you are able to relate why people think, how people think, and why they react to certain decisions and certain things the way they do. And if you have this thing in your mind while you design anything, while you approach your management, that you are still being fair to your employees, or at times to your employees saying back that yes, be fair. So having this approach helps every day in my work, in my team, and in my engagement with my stakeholders. So equity and fairness. Second thing that goes very unsaid is also caring for people, caring for life. In a profession where you are actually, at times you hire somebody, at times they don't succeed in life. And as an HR leader of that particular business or a team, you have to take those calls where you want to part your ways as well. But at the same time, you don't want to spoil people's career. It's not only one example I'm saying. Even if you hire a high pot and you don't put them into the right roles and right managers and right teams, you're actually spoiling their careers as well. So you being HR leader, at times we have to care for people. We have to understand and empathize why a manager or why a leader will also behave the way they behave. And if you have that amount of empathy in your mind, the way the employee would feel, or the manager would feel, or the leader would feel, if you have that understanding, then the way you design, intervene changes altogether. So core values: caring, equity, and fairness. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Now, very briefly, tell us about your success mantra. So what are the strategies or beliefs that have really contributed to your achievement and ultimately winning the title of emerging leader?
I would say be vocal, be genuine and be vocal. We all come, and I believe each professional, professional brings their domain into work. But apart from your domain, it is also about understanding your stakeholder. So if you are genuinely having this interest in your mind and heart, that you are here to serve, you are here to make them successful. If you come with that genuineness in team, in leadership, that helps. So genuineness and being vocal. At times we shy away. We shy away from having discussions around uncomfortable topics, having crucial conversations with our leaders, that because of cost, because of priorities, because of timelines, because of doubt that our teams will not be able to deliver at times. But having those discussions vocally with all our doubts on table at times helps you to co-create and do something which you will always remain in doubt. So be vocal, don't shy away from challenges. Those are something that is actually opportunities. Nobody else will pick it up. Have that courage to pick it up. That nobody's picking it up, just go ahead and just say why nobody's picking it up. So have courage, be vocal, take challenges. Yeah.
Beautifully
That's what
said.
I've done.
Absolutely. I mean, very, very beautiful. And I love the point of authenticity that you mentioned. It's very important for you to be genuine all that while, and that really, really helps. Absolutely agree. So now this brings us to the final question. What is your piece of advice for emerging leaders, other emerging leaders, and the upcoming youngsters? What words of wisdom or guidance do you have for younger generation aspiring to follow in your footsteps?
So ultimately, it's about, I would say, create value, understand we exist for creating value, sustenance. So being HR, being professional, if you first thing first is that you love your job or not. First determine that. What's your calling? And if that is your calling, then pursue it beyond. So identify your calling and put efforts toward that calling and do it beyond. Do it beyond, so that if it is really your calling, if it is something that your soul wants it, then only pursue that particular domain or kind of job. And hopefully, if you have taken that job, then it is only about creating value, being asking, being at times, I said, be genuine, ask questions, be a genuine partner. So I would just say that identify your calling, and if you have identified it, just pursue it. Just don't leave it. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Rahul, that's very well said, because when you really believe in something, when you're really passionate about something, you must follow, you must go in that direction, but with a lot of conviction.
Conviction.
If that is missing, then the whole purpose is defeated.
See,
And
conviction is the fuel for taking risk, fuel
yes,
for going beyond.
yeah.
If you don't have that threshold fuel of conviction, then
Mm.
your projectile can't cross the orbit. So you will not even reach orbit. That threshold velocity is gained through conviction. If determination is there, then you can even risk yourself to ask a difficult question or attempt a difficult project.
Mm.
It's only this conviction that helps. So
Yeah.
that's the reason we should find our love, passion, and just go about it.
That's a beautiful message, in fact, for emerging leaders and for young HR leaders. Thank you so much, Rahul, for
Thank you.
joining us. It was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
interacting with you.
Pleasure here as well. Thank you. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you for your time. And thank you, Prateek,
Pleasure.
Varjita. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
for
Take care.
yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.